Here we go. It's over. Wonder what that is. can't believe I killed that thing. Oh. Clementine have come this way? Huh. Pretty sure that thing would be dead if she did.
Wackos everywhere. Plague of madness. I miss her. She brought me candy. Wackos everywhere. Plague of madness.
The blight! Intruders!
Can't remember.
Let's get him!
It is his home.
Kill them all!
Everything's shifting around us.
Can't sleep. Fiend will eat me.
Delectable. Run, my treat. Your fear is ever more piquant. Divine. I promise. My sister never told me. Never knew. So many ages wasted. Nurturing dreams. Rearing them like children. Always coddling. Never tasting. But now, Nightweaver's juicy plot has led to such delicious outcomes. Come here, treat. This world holds such delectable delicacies, but you? Oh, you are exquisite.
Clementine isn't here. What now? Guess I'll just find the nearest world stone. Get a load of this place. All right, Clementine.
What can I do for you? Of course. What's to say? I spent years trying to survive. Lost folks I love. Found new folks to care for. The same tale you're likely to hear from anyone else. This town, though. This town's a boon. Commander Ford's dream child. Ellen Ford, that is. She's been building this place ever since the root started dying out 20 years ago. A beacon of hope, she called it. It's just a town to some folk, but a few of us see it like she did. Your cat. She passed on a while back, but she's still alive all around you. In the folks whose lives she's touched, even in the bones of this town. And then there's her grandfather. That old man's gonna outlive the Earth itself. She did. Saved my life. Me and my partner, Jed. And, well, then again after Jed died, she gave me a family. Folks to live for. Did that for all of us. When you meet Founder Ford, you'll know. Years don't have the usual hold on some folk around here. But Ford, he's playing with another set of rules entirely. Started in that rusty bunker, over there. Ward 13. Only a few of us back then. Hunkered in the dark while the Deadwood had their way up top. Until a wanderer, not unlike yourself, came and changed everything. Oh, you'll see the others around. My, bilious colleague there, McCabe, old Reggie, our resident storyteller, and Bo, of course. He was just knee-high to a nightingale when Ellen took him in. But look at the boy now, eh? Wish I could give you a straight answer, friend. The storm itself spat them on our doorstep half dead. We brought them back to life, though, and before I knew it, they were asking me to work on the daftest equipment you ever saw. Never told me where they got it from or what they did with it. But I know this. It was them what set the route to rights. No doubt in my mind. Anything else I can do for you? You know where to find me.
You, again. All right, make it quick. No, I used to be a real asshole. Now I'm a beacon of kindness. Hard. Brute everywhere. We did our best, took in strays, and tried to make a life of it. But it was no life worth living. Good people died. Few of us were brave or desperate enough to leave the bunker. The Wanderer, Ace. Ask Bo about the one time he went out. He came running back like a spooked cat. The Wanderer. They were a very rare pain in my ass. I never told them that. Wish I would've. They were here and then gone. Just blew in, stopped a global infestation, and then poof, they left. I should've... Founder Ford got a bug up his ass about something happening back at Ward Prime. Bo was supposed to take the Wanderer back there, but he chickened out and ran home the first chance he got. The chronicles of our fearless leader. Just an old friend. The best news I've heard all day. All right then. Okay, we're done.
Yeah, ain't a bug I haven't tried cooking. The trick is forgetting what's in your mouth.
Don't suppose you've seen Clementine yet, have you? Keep trying, hey? She's gotta be out there. What do you want to ask me? Have you met Dwell yet? Not a human one, that's for sure. He calls himself a Pan from some place called Yesha. I tell you what, I don't understand half of what he's talking about. But the crystals he sells are like nothing I've ever seen. Might be just what you're looking for. You'll want to talk to Reggie. He's got all kinds of cures and tonics. A fix to what ails you, he says. And while you're over there, see if you can figure out what's going on with that old Mudtooth. He's got some crazy stories, but I can't tell if any of them are true. His stew's pretty good too, once you get used to the smell. It'll keep you on your feet for days. Okay. Need anything else? Come back if you need anything.
You ever wonder if all this is, like, a dream or something?
What can I do for you? Go on, then. Tons. The old humans knew a lot about the human body, it turns out. Stuff even Grandpa didn't know. Did you know they used to be able to replace a man's lungs with someone else's? Or put a dead man's liver in someone whose liver didn't work anymore? To think of all the folks Grandpa and I could have saved if we had that kind of know-how. Oh, there was plenty we could use. So much that Grandpa eventually stopped complaining about my scrounging. Most of the basic meds are long gone, but there's still plenty of specialized tools and ingredients there. Stuff no one knows what to do with but me and my grandfather. What they don't got, but I never found once, is a cure for root rot. That's why so many folks died when the root first showed up. Grandpa had to invent a treatment on his own. All right. Sure thing. Take care, Sunshine.
You know, you remind me so much of him.
You mean Brad?
My brother, actually. Oh, now that you mention it.
You ever get, like a feeling, like you need some kind of change? I see you, traveler. This is Earth before the root came. No, wait. After. After the root came 121 years ago and killed over 97% of the world's population. They counted. Ah, sorry. This is our home. Our place. Everyone's got a place. Root attacks have slowed down here some since the old days, but they're still around. I mean, you knew that. The door was destroyed. All the doors. They can't come in no more, but they're trying. They'll never stop trying. I see things. Always have. Things I don't want to see. Things no one else sees. It's the root. They're connected. We're connected through the sight. When I was a kid, I thought they were nightmares. My big brother Mark talked me through them. Things were easier with Mark. Then Mark died. And the root mother came. She was something else. Not root, not human. But I was drawn to her. Commander Ford didn't want me talking to her. It didn't stop me. She told me what I was seeing. Taught me to use it. Taught me how not to use it. I'm one of the few people that misses her, now that she's gone. My people here. They need the sight. Like you and your friend need it. I see what the root sees. Past, present, future. Worlds to be, and worlds long gone. They see everything. I see in pieces. No. 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 The root mother. That was the first thing she taught me to be certain about. Death and oblivion. A flaw that became perfection. The roots only want to kill, to annihilate, to silence. Yeah. Blessed silence. Serenity among the ashes. Huh. Everyone asks. No one wants the answer. That's what they say. It's never true. The root won't ever stop. And they can never die. When one falls, another takes its place. Always. For the root, there's no time. Patience is just existence. Doors close and doors open. The root waits behind everyone. They see only one end. The end of everything. There's no other outcome. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's not what you want to hear. It never is. Oh, I've seen you a bunch of times. They think about you a lot. That's how I knew where you were, and where you would be. That's how I knew I'd meet you today. I don't know anything. I see what they see, the shapes of things, the silhouettes of events so certain they can't be changed. If I hadn't told Clementine you were out there, you wouldn't be here. But I saw you here, clear as day. They saw you. Imagine the things I'm not telling you. Oh, there's a lot of things coming. You're in the middle of most of them. And who the hell knows why? But it starts with Ford. I've seen it. I know. Consequences. For me, for you. Some of them are good. Until next time.
Greetings. Come for more gems? Of course, Paxeltech. Gems, refined from a special crystal found only on Yesha. The Ahane, priests of the Pan, forbid the crystal's use among commoners. But the Gull are craftier than Ahane know. Long and long have the Gull used the crystals for weapons. Or even cruder things, like soups. But it takes an artisan like Dwell to bring out their full potential. Does it hope to steal Dwell's chain of supply? No. Dwell's success does not come from handing out his secrets. Paxeltech, foreign to the Pan, meaningless, perhaps on Paxeltech world, but it is at home on Dwell's tongue. Yes, that is always the question. I am Pan, from the world of Yesha, where the Eternal Empress reigns, the Doe and Ravager run free, and the balance breathes life to the jungle. Or so it used to be. It is Paxeltech. Yesha is kin mother to us all. Yet she suffers. Long and long have the Immortals oppressed the common Pan, wielding their power as if it were something they had earned or deserved. The Pan have rebelled against this tyranny, and for a time it looks as if we could win. Then the pestilence came. What Paxeltech call the Root. When I last saw her, Yesha languished under the pestilence. The Ravager prowls, and the Doe is lost. The rebellion continues, but my people ache for relief. Ah, the Paxeltech Ford, the founder, On its last visit to Yesha, it said it was possible. I do not understand the complexities myself, but now I am here. Not Paxeltech name, perhaps, but it is my name whilst I live among Paxeltech tongues. Ah, yes. Ah, yes. Only the finest. Farewell.
For now. Here we go. Yeah! Great. Oh, bad news. Okay. I must be missing something. go. That looks important. Whew. Glad that's over. Here we go. That's ominous.
They're my friends! Please! What are you doing here?
You saved my ass. I'm here to save yours.
Wow. You didn't have to do that.
Well, you were pulled screaming into a giant crystal, so... I kinda did.
Right. I guess I would have done the same. But how did you find me?
To be honest, I'm not sure. I think it has something to do with this.
They risked their life to find me. You can trust them.
Anomaly.
What are you?
The Keeper.
The Keeper of what?
The realm in which you now reside. All realms. All my mandate to protect.
What is it talking about?
This is the Labyrinth. A place between worlds. Connecting the worlds. The Keeper protects all of them from the root. We got them out of Earth, but the others...
There is little time. System failure is imminent. This segment, where did you find it?
I killed something, and it kinda fell out.
Interesting. A failsafe.
Is that bad? That sounds bad.
No, it's good.
The index can be repaired. 3 outcomes emerge, where once there was one.
We could do it. We could end the root.
More segments are required. The anomaly will retrieve them.
Wait, what about her?
The tide must be stemmed. The utility must remain.
The utility? You mean Clementine?
Yes. Clementine. Corruption tears at the seams of this realm. Yet the doorways remain. Gateways to other realms. This key grants passage. Find the segments and return them to me.
Hey, Traveler. I hope it didn't cost you too much to find me. Well, I'm sorry anyway. You shouldn't have had to come after me. I'd have told you if I could. So, how's the ward? Is Bo okay? Yeah, that sounds like Bo. Well, if you see him again, tell him I'm fine. More than fine. I'm... at peace. Not that that'll keep him from worrying. I do. For so long now, I felt lost. Especially on Earth. I felt like I was living someone else's life. I joined the Dreamer program with the promise of making a difference. A chance to do something that mattered. I thought I'd found it on Losomn, but it didn't last. It wasn't real. But these powers, everything that's happened to me, it's all been leading me here. This is where I'm meant to be. This is where I'm needed. No. I mean... maybe? I don't know. It's complicated. There was a time I thought the ward would never be home again. It still isn't. Though, that doesn't mean it won't ever be. But I'm needed here now. That's all I know. That's all I need to know. I can't go back, Traveler. Not right now. No. Not that I've bothered to look. That old man's got his own journey. Same as me. Nothing that'll make sense, probably. The Labyrinth isn't what it looks like. But it also is? Let me try again. Most of this place is like thought and energy. There's so much more to it than what your senses see. I only know that because of my bond with the Keeper. I mostly feel the Labyrinth. Like a heartbeat, or sunlight. And like both of those things, it's connected to everything. Yeah, sorry. I don't really understand it all myself. I'm not even sure I can. Try asking the Keeper about it. Their answers might not make much more sense than mine, but at least they know what they're talking about. The Keeper needs you. We all do. And hey, if you see the ward again, tell Bo... tell everyone that I'm okay. They don't need to worry about me.
The Labyrinth is compromised. Resources are limited. Ask. The seat of all worlds. First the core, then the Labyrinth, then all worlds that are, were, or shall be. The core has been purged of corruption, yet corruption remains. All must be purged. The Labyrinth must hold fast, must be last to fall. Little that has not been said. Their origin is unclear. Their existence, unexpected, yet ideal. A failsafe in the event of utter collapse. The segments repair the index. The index purges the corruption. New outcomes emerge. The anomaly's involvement has altered probabilities. Alter them further. Find the remaining segments. The Creator. The Creator. Obscured. The Creator is the Creator. The first was extracted from an entity of great power. Logic dictates. The others are dissembled within the same. Search the worlds. Seek out other powerful entities. Extract the segments within them. Hesitancy irrational. Either the anomaly erases one life, or the root erases all. There are no other outcomes. Short-term outcomes are likewise simplistic, for the entities in question erase lives as well. Erasure is unavoidable. Entropy deliberate. This one seeks to maintain the cycle. Unknown. The intersection of worlds with surviving entities of sufficient power, and worlds for which corruption has not made them untraversable. The intersection is small. Start with one, then search another. The Labyrinth is the connection of all things. It is the seat of the worlds, built upon the core, and all worlds are built upon it. I have provided the maximum help that I can. All endeavors will fail if I do any more. You are the resource now. Find the segments and return. I am the Keeper. I was the first to rise. I will be the last to fall. Kidnap misnomer. The utility was required. The ability has been acquired. The utility consents and remains. Clementine bears the nature of both core and guardians. The utility understands what is needed. She understands the Keeper. I can no longer maintain stability on my own. The utility is a necessary resource. Necessary, but insufficient. The segments are required. Entity, Clementine, was key to stabilizing the system, to preserve the worlds.
What can I do for you, Traveler? Take care of yourself, okay?
Its task is incomplete. Does the anomaly require clarification?
Greetings, traveler. What can I do for you? What would you like to know? Old as teeth, friend. Old as teeth. Everything we know comes from Founder Ford. That title don't come from nowhere. He was there at the start. When the world ended, about 120 years ago, give or take a decade, Ford and some survivors took shelter in old Ward 13 over there. I don't know how many wards there were, but they were all part of something called the Dreamer Project that went bad. Real bad. There are rumors. Some say he made a deal with the Root, and that's why it's so hell-bent on stopping him. Some say he was experimented on in the Dreamer Project. Some say he found some kind of magic out there in the years when he was traveling the worlds. Truth is, nobody knows. Maybe not even Ford himself. Personally, I think Ford's just tough as dirt and refuses to die. Ford and Clementine are the only ones what really know, and they don't like to talk about it. But old Reggie's got a gift for collecting stories, and I've gleaned a few things. At the wards, see, they connected people to machines that made them dream about other worlds. But these worlds were real, and the dreamers were seeing through the eyes of someone that lived there. Sounds like a bridge too far, don't it? It did for me, too. At least until I met Clementine. The story's pretty long, friend. Let me know if you get tired of the telling. After the world fell, see, Founder Ford carried the whole burden of what happened on his shoulders. Tell the truth, I don't think he ever put that burden down. But let's see, where were we? Ah, yes. Founder Ford carried a heavy burden in those earlier days. Probably still does. But what could he do? At first, nothing. He pressed on with the work of helping others survive. If you ask me, that was the best thing he could have done. And it never should have stopped. Maybe he wouldn't have if Evelyn hadn't. See, Evelyn was his wife, and she was something special. She could, hear the Root, see what they saw. At first, she thought she was going insane. But then she started using it, spying on the dead wood. And she saw something coming. Something big. She saw a monster, something the ward, the whole city couldn't handle. And only one way out. She communed with the Root, I guess you'd call it. Melded her mind to theirs and drove the monster off. But the Root swallowed her, body and mind, until there was nothing left of Evelyn Ford. Her husband lost it then. He left the ward for months, sometimes years at a time, wandering the worlds trying to find something, anything that could stop the Root. And one day, he just didn't come back. Well, now my story's not through yet. The Fords, they had a daughter, Nadine. She was maybe 17 when her mother disappeared. Too young to run the ward, but when her pa was gone, folks would ask her their questions instead. Then one day, she was just in charge of everything. Nadine had her own daughter, Ellen, who really made us who we are today. Commander Ellen Ford inherited her mother's pragmatism, her grandfather's doggedness, and her grandmother's willingness to make hard choices. So whenever someone showed up, dehydrated, starving, half mad from loss, she took them in, taught them a trade in medicine and supplies, gave them a family. So you were paying attention. I owe a lot to Ellen Ford, and we all do. I miss her something fierce, let me tell you. She was one of the dreamers, if you can believe it. The only one still alive, as far as I can tell. She says she got sucked out somehow, dragged into her dream world before the Root came to Earth. I don't understand it much. I reckon she don't either. But she found herself in a place called Losomn, a world covered in snow and inhabited by giant intelligent rats. Don't know how she survived, but I imagine it has to do with those powers of hers. Hey, that's the story I still haven't gotten out of her. Sure is. But power like that don't come without a cost. I can only imagine what it must take out of her to control a power like that. Oh, about 20-odd years ago, we had almost nothing left. trapped in Ward 13 with nowhere to go and the route getting worse all around us. Then this stranger wanders in out of the storm, makes friends, picks up some gear, and damned if they don't take the fight to the route. I still don't know if that wanderer was crazy or brave or both, but they did it. They beat the route, and things got better day by day. But once it seemed safe to live outside again, Commander Ford made plans to build this town here. She was a force, that woman. Founder Ford came back once. Did I mention that? Almost 60 years ago, right after his daughter Ellen's mother passed away. Ellen couldn't have been more than 18 at the time, but she told him the war didn't need him. Didn't have room for some legend who was just as likely to leave as to lead. I reckon Founder Ford saw the wisdom of that, because a while later, he left again and didn't return for a long time. When he finally did, he wasn't leading us no more. He was content to leave the ward in better hands, Ellen's hands. Well, she fell sick some time ago. Most of us have lost folks without any chance to say goodbye. But we got that with Ellen. Why, she even made things right with her grandfather before the end, or so I hear. The two of them together put Bo in charge of the ward. No one was more surprised about that than Bo. But you know what? He's the right man for the job. Ain't no one loves the ward, loves these people more than the kid who was raised by him. He's gonna do all right. The Wanderer was on a mission from the start. Said something about getting to the tower on the old atoll out there. Sounded crazy the first time I heard it. But turns out, that tower was one of the old wards. The Wanderer's path wasn't easy, though. Our Wanderer had to track down Founder Ford just to find a way in. And that meant following his trail. Just you wait. I'm getting to that. Well, Ford had seemed to have gotten himself mixed up in another world's affairs, helping a rebellion out here. And he was imprisoned for it. Now, no one here knew that, but the Root Mother knew. And that's who our Wanderer left to see. The Root Mother's got a story all her own, and I don't know half of it. Before she was the Root Mother, she was Evelyn Ford. That's right, the Founder's wife. Bound herself to the root, she did, and it changed her. Turned her into something else. But when the Wanderer showed up, she pulled herself out. The Root Mother, or whatever she called herself after that, sent our Wanderer down a trail of sorrow, at the end of which was the Founder himself. The Wanderer freed him, and used his knowledge to get into the tower, and destroy the last Dreamer. Or what we thought was the last Dreamer anyway. It did weaken the Root for a time, but I guess that weren't the whole story. So, the Dreamer was dead, the storm subsided, but the Root, they were still around. Then Founder Ford tells us about the oldest ward, the first one, where the Dreamer Project began. He hoped there might be some clue there as to why the Deadwood was still coming to our world. So our Wanderer goes a-hunting. Oh, they found more than even old Ford bargained for. You ain't wrong. The place was full of doors, and I'm not talking about the quiet humankind. One of these doors led to the world of Losomn, where the Wanderer found Clementine. Clementine opened a door what nobody else could have opened. And inside? I hate to admit it, but I don't know what they found inside. All I know is the Root stopped coming when the Wanderer and Clementine were through. They'd done it. Saved the whole damn world. Just making sense of things. Stories make us who we are. If we don't share them, don't learn from them, we're just bouncing around in the dark. Only the best for my friends. Now, if you need supplies, old Reggie's you got.
Something you need, young'un? Well, shoot, traveler, I might have some answers for you. Stop me if I told you this one already. You met my boy Brabus yet? He's a handful, that one. Always has been. Got into a scrap when he was 5, he did. Knocked down a boy had to be, twice his age, and 3 to 6 times his height, at least. Well, that boy's pa didn't take it none too well. And this pa, phew, like a pair of fists with leg bones. That boy's pa wanted to take some skin out of me for it. Now, I ain't proud of what I did next, but oh, who am I kidding? I wouldn't be telling you if I weren't proud, now would I? But, like I taught Brabus, say as I do as I say. And anyways, I couldn't back down from a fight, not in front of the Crazy Eight. Come to think of it, that's probably how Brabus got the way he is. Anyway, I fight the man. He could have crushed my head between market and roast beef, but I aimed to win, not fight fair. I pointed at nothing at all behind him, then smooshed a scoop of mud straight into his mouth. Then, while he was a-spitting and a-sputtering, I hit him hard. So hard that when he fell, my muddy hand came away with 3 of his teeth in it. And that, friend, is the true story of how I got the name Mudtooth. You'll like this one. Back when the earth fell, a dragon, a real root dragon, took up residence over there, just like in old fairy tales. It started in them wards, see? Your eyes only hush-hush military conspiracizing farms and whatnot. That's where they made all their weapons and did them experiments. And just like those tales, it took a what now? Where was I? Oh, yeah. And just like those tales, it took a what now? It took a night to slay this dragon. Oh, ho, ho, but the dragon was crafty, all right. He knew the knight needed help, so the dragon gave it to him. Yep, the dragon took the form of a talking tree and told the knight if they wanted to slay that dragon, they'd have to slay all these other beasts first. A cyclops, a living statue, what do you call them? Golem. Well, the knight slayed them all. But the thing was, these beasts weren't protecting the dragon. They were holding him back. So when the dragon finally did reveal itself, it was too strong for the knight. And it took him, body and mind, and made their strength its own. You won't believe this one, but you should. I ever tell you the secret behind my stew? Well, I ain't gonna. But I will tell you how it came to be, yeah? The original recipe comes from my ma, of course. But that ain't the end of the story. My ma made a fine stew, but it weren't nothing to tell tales about. Not until the day me and the Crazy Eight got ourselves trapped in one of them old, medieval, meditating... We was trapped in one of them medicinal compounds, full of pharmaceuticals and whatever you call them. And I had nothing but a dead coney and an onion on my belt, which weren't good for much, but were the style at the time. So we scrounged for ingredients. Well, them hospitalities ain't no good for food, but they do have some pretty mean spices lying around if you know what you're doing, which I do. That night was the best stew any of us ever had in our lives. Kept us going for days, until finally the dead wood outside got bored and took off. And that, friend, is the same stew I make today. I even use the same ingredients as them back in the day medicinals. Better even. Ah, here's a good one. I ever tell you about the Shrouded King? No, it ain't a book. It's real, I tell you. Real as every damn story I know. He's the king of another world, see? And his world was overrun by the root just like ours. Or at least it was gonna be. The Shrouded King, he got his people together to draw as much power as he could from his own ding-dang-dingity son. Used it to make himself a weapon. Soon as the root showed up, he fired the damn thing. Now the king, he knew what was about to happen, but he didn't tell nobody. That weapon weren't just gonna scorch the root. No, it scorched the whole dim darn dingity world. Burned the deadwood the hell out of there. Killed half his kingdom and twisted the other half into something unrecognizable. And that's why he wears a shroud, see? Because he done twisted himself in the process. But he don't want no one to see the mangledy bits of his face parts. Sure can. Let's see. Ho-ho! You want to know the truth about young Bo over there? To start off with, the boy ain't all that young. I mean, sure, he ain't nothing to old Mudtooth, but ain't a lot of folks around who remember him as a boy no more. Why is that? Well, I'll tell you. That boy made a deal with the... What? Oh, let me see here. Why is that? Well, I'll tell you. Bo Ward, he made a deal with the Wanderer. Don't believe me? It was Bo who met the Wanderer at Old Ward 10 and 3. And it was Bo who took him over to that Ward goose egg, the one where the root started. And he won't admit it, but it was Bo what rescued Clementine and shut the door on the dead wood for good. The boy's more than he tells, and a good deal more than he knows. Why else would folks around here put him in charge of everything? You won't believe this one, but you should. You've been introduced to that girl Clementine. Powerful woman she is, but she weren't always so. She's near as old as Ford is, if you can believe it. Even older than my old bones, how about it? Those two have a lot in common, including traveling to other worlds. You see, she was born on Earth, but Clementine spent 100 years on a snow world called Losomn. They call it that on account of some you read and some you don't. Anyway, what was she doing all that time? Training. See, Losomn's full of giant talking rats. They got warrior rats and midwife rats and even mystic rats. Clementine, she learned under the tutelage of a two-headed mystic named Sebum. Taught her everything she knows. She don't talk about it, of course, on account of Sebum's a wanted man. Rat, I guess. But it's God's own truth. I met the man myself, rat. Stop me if I told you this one already. Long time ago, when I was just 10 years old or so, I moved to a place called Sanctuary. Sanctuary was true to its name. It was a place where folks came to be free from the dead wood, to protect each other. A lot like this place. Boy, Sanctuary had everything. Folks there had working engines and roads filled with fruit trees. But Sanctuary had this one thing I ain't never seen since. They called them movers, and I can still see them in my mind. See, they'd hook up this battery, right? Only it weren't storing power, but stories. They'd hook it up to a wheel and a light, and bam! Whole worlds just show up on the wall. talking rabbits and stuttering pigs and this one real surly duck. Maybe it's something like Ford's old crystals. Except you couldn't walk into the movers. Believe me, I tried. Nah, they just played for you, sound and all. Transporting you to another place. Maybe that's where I got my love of stories, huh? Huh. Never really thought about it till now. Let me see here. Ho ho! I've been telling tales about the Ford family for years. I tell you, nothing about them surprises me no more. Like old Commander Ford, one who used to run this here ward, she was the youngest of the family. She's the one what brought most of this town together. They say she's dead and buried, but they don't know the truth of it. See, the old Commander were the youngest, but she ain't the last. Old Ford, her grandpa, is still kicking here in town. Crazy old man went and fought the Deadwood head on and lived. Her grandmother was half Root herself. Folks used to call her the Root Mother. And oh, she were a twisted one, let me tell you. The thing about the Fords is they can't die. Not a single damn one of them. I mean, look, they all thought old Ford had died long ago, and there he is, plain as day. I don't care what anyone says. I swear to you on my unborn brother's life, the other Fords are still out there somewhere, too. You won't believe this one, but you should. So I was on a scrounge with the Crazy Eight. That was my gang back in the day. We came across this old hospital, see? Folks were holed up in the basement, trapped there for God knows how long. But the Root, the Root, where was I? Oh, yeah. But the Root had found those folks same time we did. Now, the Crazy Eight, they were all for running. We got 88 problems, they'd say, and dead folks ain't one of them. But not me. I knew those folks needed help. Also, knew they had food and meds. So I fought for them, tooth and nail. Literally a-biting and a-chewing the damn deadwood off me. When it was over, the Crazy Eight come up to me, and I just smile at them, with root bits stuck all over my teeth. Looked like mud, they said. There you go, Mud Tooth. Name stuck ever since. Don't think I told you this one yet. This city ain't without its own tales. Why, there's a tower, see? What only appears once in a gibbous August moon. Kinda looks like a big yellow-orange pumpkin. And within that tower is a man. Except he's not a man. He's a wizard, see? He calls himself the Keeper, and he controls everything. I've seen him myself. Even talked to him once. Man's smart as hell. So smart, even I can't keep up with him. He says he watches over all of us. But if that's the case, then he ain't been doing such a good job. I mean, look around you. But I reckon he means well. And that tower, I think, is like a spaceship he uses to teleportate to other planets. You go walk the city in a harvest pumpkin moon. You'll see what I mean. Here's a good one. So this wanderer comes up to visit me at my heliocopter, right? They're decked out with guns, but they walk up and ask for stew and a story. I'm thinking they'll get tired, wander off, and take my story somewhere else like all the rest. But they don't. They listen to all of it. And I think to myself, this mutter actually wants to hear these. Reminds me of my ma, tell you the truth, the way I'd listen to her. And the way my boy Brabus used to listen to me. Before he turned away, that wanderer reminded me of family. And that's the most important thing, ain't it? So I figure I ain't left long for this world. So I give 'em my wife's old watch in thanks. Ain't too long after that, my boy Brabus comes back in person, first time in years, with a watch chain peeking out his pocket. I knew a good thing when I saw it. I didn't say nothing. Just welcomed the boy back like nothing had changed. Family's the most important thing we got in this world, young'un. Don't forget that. Here, right good listen, Tater friend. Tell you what, though, I'm a little light on the stories right now, but you look like you could use yourself some company. I got just the cure for that. And I ain't talking about my stew this time. Take this and check back with me later. I'm sure I'll have some newly remembered stories for you then. So long as you head back then, huh?
You know, it's strange how quiet it is here some days. Like, nothing's going on.
Yeah. Kind of boring if you ask me.
Don't suppose you've seen Clementine yet, have you? Wait, for real? Folks around here have been worried sick about her. Well, don't just stand there gawking. Where is she? What? You sound like you've been drinking too much of Mudtooth's tonic. You know that, right? All right, well, is she coming back? So long as she's all right, I guess. I mean, I barely knew her, but she seemed like she could make her own choices just fine. So now that you found her, does that mean you're here to stay? I'm sorry. I just can't believe all those words were put into the same sentence, or that I even understood some of it. Our lives got pretty weird, huh? I guess we were asking for it, looking for fairy tales and all. Well, I ain't going nowhere then. I'll be here when you need me, or when you're done, whichever comes first. Just make sure you come back, okay? Hey, you're back. What can I do to help? Sure, what you got? Well, all right. I'll be here when you get back.
Hey there, traveler. The what? That doesn't sound okay. Do you have any idea what's out there? This is the World Stone we're talking about. Oh, we've got to get a rescue party together. We have to make sure she gets back safe. Right. I forgot that you... Sorry, I'm just... You really think she's okay? Wow. Oh, all right, I guess I just have to accept that. Well, if you see her again, tell her that tell her that the town isn't the same without her. So, welcome back then, I guess. Anything I can help you with? I mean, I knew she was gone. I just didn't know she was that gone. Clem takes off from time to time, you know? It's just her way. She'll disappear for hours, sometimes days at a time. Well, I never liked it, but she can take care of herself, yeah? And it's not like I could stop her anyway. And she always came back, saying she just needed to be alone for a while, and I can respect that. I just wish she'd talk to someone, you know? Yeah, well, the Founder's his own thing, ain't he? And it's not the first time he's disappeared on us. Not even the 5th time. Commander Ford, the Founder's granddaughter, used to say relying on the Founder was like running across rubble. Now, you could do it for a while, but sooner or later, it'll let you down. Now, I don't know if I'd go that far, but Founder Ford, he was always more of like, well, more of an idea to us than a leader. Hell, when I was a kid, everyone thought he'd been dead for years. But that's the thing about the Founder, he never stays gone. A week, a year, a decade. Somehow, he always finds his way back here. Stay safe, traveler.
Stranger, for returning this child to me. I thank you. I don't got much to give, but here, take this. See how far you traveled to get here. I am the Oracle of the Drown, and in this space, there's very little I don't see. For example, you've lost someone, a friend. You come here looking for her. Aye, that's the one. She saved you, and now you've come to save her. But your path got crossed somehow. She ain't in this world at all. I'm sorry for that, but you're on the right path. She lies ahead of you, sure as sugar. I see her in a stitching place, made of endless paths and possibilities. It's a world between worlds. A place where the patchwork of realms is itself stitched together into a realm of itself. I'm afraid the way forward ain't none too clear. Or it may be it just ain't been so long yet. Our world here, it got broken, you see. But we'll stitch it right, one patch at a time. Just like this quilt. This world lost its way on its own. Lost sight of what mattered. Change was inevitable. That change came more swiftly than anyone imagined. And now that it's here, we best finish it. Or it'll finish us. Every thread, every patch makes the change more complete. Until it's whole, and we find ourselves again. Even you, now that you're here, have your own patch to sew. Smashing of the worlds brought something new to us. Something terrible. They call her the Nightweaver, and you must find her. The same place all these creatures come from. I gather she was a power in her world. Now, with the worlds stitched together, she's become something much, much worse. She hunts us while we sleep, and feasts on our dreams, feeding us nightmares and consuming our fears. Those who fall to her are left hollow and broken. But she don't kill them, not till she's done with them. She leaves them alive, just enough that she can come back for more. The stitching of the worlds ain't all of the terrible thing it might seem, but the Nightweaver is. If you really aim to help us, she needs to go. There's a place full of Dran, where the sick of mind are taken for protection. Though, whether for their protection or others, it's difficult to say. That's where the Nightweaver waits. In the deep and the dark. Hunting. Waiting. Wanting. Well, yes, of course, my dear. It was an unexpected patch, I'll admit. Stitched in all of a sudden like. But now that it's here, I do believe it's the patch we needed. Oh, don't hear me sideways, dear. I know it ain't all fancies and fortunes. Some of these creatures are feeding on the poor Dran. And the Dran, well, most of them can't see or refuse to see what's happening. It must be terrifying for all, but it's growing pains. Mark my words, once the stitching's done, we'll be right as rain. Indeed. Truth is, some folk only ever see what they want to see. For if they open their eyes to the facts, it'll mean ripping out every stitch left holding them together. So, I understand those what can't see, but their blindness makes things so much worse for the rest. Those what can see have it terrible. They can't ever go back to the way things were. But there ain't no one to give them the help they need. Have mercy on them, dear. Until the stitching's done, they more than most bear the terrible, unwanted burden of the truth. Ah, that. I've been given eyes to watch over my people, and a heart to protect them, but no voice of my own in exchange. To speak to my people, I must speak through them. That is the way of it, my children. Now, they are those what got nowhere else to go. They choose me, and I'm mother to them more than any other Dran. I am sorry if it's disturbing, but do understand, these children are willing speakers on my behalf. Goodness no! For all my gifts, that ain't something I could do even if I wanted. But they ain't got no compunctions about speaking for me. Makes them feel important, it does. Didn't I already tell you, my dear? I think I did, dearie. Perhaps you weren't listening. Life's the quilt, and the quilt is life. And we're all part of the patchwork. None can see the whole till the whole is done. All we can do is stitch it in, one patch at a time. There's patches what ain't been stitched in yet. But that don't make them less a part of the whole. It just means the quilt ain't finished. And like these children here, stitched to their parents. Though their parents ain't around no more. And they were stitched to me too before we met. For all Dran are a part of each other. Keep trying, my dear. You'll see it. We're all this quilt. It's just that all the patches ain't been sewn in yet. And maybe never will be. At least, not in a single run-through. Life's just a rehearsal for something else, isn't it? It might feel like we only get the one run at it, but there's so much more. And some of us get more than that, don't we? You live and die and live again. But it's all part of the same quilt. Every patch of your life's telling a single story. And when your patches end, another's will be sewn in. And so the quilt continues, on and on, until it's complete. Oh, we'll know when we know. Until then, we just keep stitching in our stories, one patch at a time. I'm sure you will, dear. The paths are the same. She tried, but I don't think she liked my taste now. She won't be trying that again. Would that I could protect the others so easily. Depends how you're using that word, my dear. To a great many, you're as powerful as they come yourself. But you ain't the one you're looking for, are you? But you asked about me. Maybe I was once. But even if I was, I ain't no more. The Nightweaver. She has what you seek. Well, yes, of course, my dear. I'm sure you will, dear. The paths are the same. Oh, something to show you. This quilt is the life of this world. I've said as much before, I think. And whether you know it or not, you've been working towards its completion. When you're out there helping the Dran, facing their monsters, every ordeal's a patch on this quilt, and it's half done now. You're as much to thank for that as I am. Perhaps more so. I wanted to share my joy with you, love. So here, a small token of my appreciation. I won't hold you up no longer, child. Just wanted you to know. Yes?